We off in this
I'm mute.
place, catching vibes, sit back and we blaze in the sky like I'm out of space.
What's going on, cigar world? What's going on, cigar enthusiasts? This is Jack, the cigar enthusiast.
And you got your boy Johnny, the cigar faker.
Man, come on, man. We're coming to you from the virtual smoke deck live. Man, it's happy to see you, Johnny. How's your week, man?
Man, it's been phenomenal, man. Apart from this dang on crazy weather we had lately, man. How's the weather been down your way, champ?
Man, the weather ain't been too bad, man. It's a lot of rain.
Count,
yeah, you know, we in the sunshine state, baby. We don't worry about that type of stuff. You worry about snow up there. We don't worry about that. Hey, we out here just trying not to get blew over by the wind.
And that's it, man. Too much sunshine.
Hey, man. Hey, good problems to have. Good problems to have, man. If y'all new to the cigar chat, if y'all new to the virtual smoke tag, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and turn that notification bell. Give us a huge thumbs up, man. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and hit that like, that follow, create a watch party, man. We got amazing guests on, Johnny, man.
That's it.
Come on.
That's it.
Hey, look, we got one
That's
of the
it.
best in the game, man. I love talking to Pete, man. Pete is one of the realest and humblest dudes in the game, but just doing the damn thing too.
And see, listen, man, this will be my first introduction here, man. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, because you couldn't get your volume right. You had a
That's
whole
it,
chance
man.
to talk.
I don't know what happened.
You can't even talk.
I don't know what happened, man.
Hey, y'all, Johnny got caught in the background lacking, man. He was out there stumbling. Hey, Johnny muted his whole self, so he didn't have to talk to Pete until now he get on air, man.
Hey, you see it, right, man? Listen. But I got a good stick. Listen, I was gifted a good stick for this broadcast, man. So I'm excited.
Man, you gotta tell us about it now. You done dove all the way into that, and then ain't gonna get no type of angle on it.
My homeboy Andy, man, Andy Lopez, man, he gifted me with the 2015 Tatuaje TAA. So I'm excited to light it up, man.
Hey, Pete, don't go in the background. Don't get nothing special out the humidor. Hey, we need you to stay here and smoke on that fire that you're smoking on, man. Hey, man, we ain't gonna hold you guys up, man. Hey, let's shout out to some of the guests on there. We got Mike, shirtless Mike in the building. What's up, Mike? What's up, Mike? Boy? Hey, Nick, what's going on, man? All is well. How are you doing, my brother? It's not the hey, you better not go out there. Your nipple's gonna be on hard. We don't want to see that, man. Hey, what's up, D? Our tobacconist, one of our famous tobacconists here, Dapper D.
What's good, your brother?
On here, man. Hey, man, we ain't gonna keep Pete in the background. I love talking to Pete, man. I'm actually smoking on. If you're not part of this exclusive group, man, you don't get these type of cigars. So we got a cigar sampler from Pete from the Saints and Sinners with the Cigar Rights of America logo on it. I'm gonna have Pete tell you, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't do no homework on that cigar before I said I was gonna light it. I got it and I said, guess what? It's from Saints and Sinners, and I know everybody ain't got it. So if you ain't part of that organization, you need to get with your local, get with your favorite Saints and Sinners member, and maybe we'll bring you in. Just maybe. Get little cool coins like this, you know. If you ain't got the Saints and Sinners coin, you ain't cool, man.
I need to level up.
Hey, I might invite you.
Only if my microphone work.
Hey, this week 3 with problems now. Actually, we two. We two. Hey, with your problems. Hey, one more. You can't join Saints and Sinners, man. I'm not gonna recommend you to Pete, man. Be particular about it. But man, hey, look, hey man, let's get the man, the myth, the legend, Pete Johnson from Tatuaje on the screen, man. What's going on, Pete?
What's up, Jack? How you been, man?
What's good with your brother, man?
Hey, I gotta say a couple things.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
remember that intro video from the first time, but
Hey,
that's all like James Bond and shit.
Hey, we got to upgrade.
I was like, where am I going? Like, where's this guy taking me? Am I in like some mystery movie? Like, are they gonna kidnap me and take me to some place? I don't know what the hell's going on. But Johnny, I know you had trouble with your your sound, but you got a great rasp to your voice. Very deep.
Funny story.
You got a face for radio, by the way.
Listen, a lot of people think it came from smoking cigars.
That was a joke, man.
No, but it's serious.
No, he don't smoke the cigars. He chews them. Hey, he got that Harvey Weinstein. Not Harvey Weinstein. I was thinking of something.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
No.
Hey, listen, I done heard like drill sergeant. You know, people ask, "Were you a drill sergeant?" I'm like, "No, I wasn't a drill sergeant in the military, man. You know, no, I wasn't that cool."
That would actually make sense, though. You'd be yelling all the time.
Somebody, y'all didn't hear me. Y'all didn't hear what I said. But
No,
like,
I didn't.
you?
Jack, I didn't go out and get anything special though. I'm actually smoking. I figured we'd be on here for a little bit, so I pulled out one of each of the new Cohetes.
Yeah, nothing major, right?
Nothing special.
So I decided to go broadleaf first, and I'm going to go probably backwards. I'm going to go broadleaf, Sumatra, and then Habano.
Hey, Pete, you said that too calm. You do know the whole world is raving about Cohete right now. You do know that, right?
The Cohete, you know, like we hadn't had it out for a little bit, so people were craving it, and honestly, the reason why we've come out with things like this during this time of the year, because people in the cold weather states don't want to be standing outside smoking a long ass cigar. So we give them the nice short, full flavored, full bodied cigars to smoke for that brief period while they're freezing their asses off in the snow. Oh, and by the way, Jack, you don't need to be cool to be part of Saints and Sinners. Actually, being part of Saints and Sinners does not make you cool. It's just a fun club that we get together and we shoot the shit and we do things like with those CRA cigars that you're smoking. That raises money to help towards legislation against tobacco or cigars. But I can't tell you what that cigar is because that's the only cigar in the kit that I don't tell anybody what they are. Oof. I can tell you that they're two different blends.
Definitely a little spicy.
Two different wrappers, and they are made in quantities of 1,850 of each of them. That's it. So very small quantity, but it's specifically made for the members of Saints and Sinners.
So first and foremost, I'm not gonna let you get on here and just steal my thunder, okay? Saints and Sinners is for cool people only, okay? If you're not part of Saints and Sinners, then you're not in the cool category, okay? I'm part of it, so that's what it is. That's my story, Pete, and I'm gonna stick to it.
Well, you know, there was an old line by a famous comedian that says, "Why would I want to be part of a club that what was it? Why would I want to be part of a club where they'd actually let me in?" I think that was the line, something like that. I can't. Someone please correct me on that. Someone out there in virtual world has to know that famous line. That there was someone actually.
Hold on.
Yeah, no to Harvey Weinstein. Yes, no to Harvey Weinstein.
Hey, shut up. Hey, you know, Jason's gonna come on here and be a hater. You know, this is what Jason does. But I'm a member because of Jason. I appreciate you, Jason. Hey, so Pete, man, kind of diving into it, and you know, really, I mean, it's been since PCA we actually was able to sit down and actually talk. Mind you, I wanted to tell you, man, I met a lot of people in the industry that day, and I think kind of putting the conversation and the name to the face really put it all together, not only for me, but I'm pretty sure it was for everybody else. But it was two people that stood out to me that whole entire PCA show. I mean, I sat down with AJ. I sat down with obviously Steve. I mean, talked to Jorge Padron for a little bit. I mean, George Padron.
It's Jorge, but we all call him George for some reason.
Yeah. hey, you know, I just want to be politically correct. But you know, it was you and John Hubert. I don't know what it was. I still to this day, I cannot
John
figure
Huber,
it
my
out.
boy, man. John Huber, salt of the earth. Makes great cigars with multiple different companies, and he's just John and I have been friends since the first time we saw each other. We looked at each other. We both had tattoos, and we're like, we're supposed to be best friends, right? Yeah. No, John's the best, man. Yeah, he's always been around me in this industry. I met him a little later because he came in the industry slightly later. But you know, I've always had his back when it came to, like, he was looking for a new factory to work in, and I was more than welcoming to bring him into the Garcias because they want to work with good people, and John's good people.
Yeah. Absolutely. But what I was, and the statement is, I don't want to belong to any club that will accept me as a member. And that's,
thank you. I knew it. That's exactly what I was trying to say, but I'm really
I can't tell that name.
Yeah, I was trying to. What's the last name possibly?
Groucho Marx.
See, you just said it so easily. Like, it makes us retarded now.
There was the Marx brothers. They had Groucho, Heppo, and I forgot what the other guy's name was. Zeppo.
you know, and I was getting somewhere with that story. So when I met you guys, and you know, it was like, you know, Pete, you are the way you are, whether you're on the screen and people watching you versus in person, and that's something I love about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to give you your flowers in a sense to that, man. You're producing top cigars. You have people drooling over any cigar that you come out with. Not only that, you just got what number was it, 16 or 9 or something like that on Cigar Aficionado?
No, number 13, which is my favorite number, actually.
Wow.
Number 13 with the KT22.
Yes. And then you have put out your videos showing everything, you know, that you have done with all the different cigar of the years and different things of that nature. And I just want to let you know, man, you're doing a phenomenal job, phenomenal person. And I think it makes it easy for people to love you.
Nah. Well, you should talk to my wife then.
So tell us. I mean, obviously you're rolling year after year after year on cigar of the year. Cigar of the year on any platform. I'm just saying. Obviously, everybody looks at Cigar Aficionado, but Cigar Dojo did some. You had. You had so many
Dojo
out
did
there.
The T110. Yeah,
the
they did
T110
the T110
really.
for a limited edition. That was actually a big surprise. I'll be honest, Jack, I never expect any accolade. It's always a thrill to get them. So when you find out on the day that they come out that you got a good review from someone, like I fell asleep the other night, went to bed, and I woke up to a message from Eric over at Cigar Dojo saying, "Congratulations, you got #1 for limited edition." I'm like, holy shit! Like, I was asleep when that came in, so I'm sure a lot of people saw it before me, but I didn't expect it. I never expect anything. I don't think any of us expect anything. We obviously believe that the cigars are good, and we hope that we get accolades for them. But we're never gonna sit there and go, okay, this deserves to be X, because honestly, the more you get ratings and the more people put you on lists like that, the bigger the brand gets. Obviously, more people pay attention to the product, and that's always great. We definitely promote our good ratings. We don't probably promote our bad ratings that much, though.
I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah, I think the only time I've ever promoted a bad rating was I can't remember what it was. Actually, Cigar Aficionado rated a cigar kind of poorly a long time ago, but they made a comment that the wrapper was too long for the cigar. And you know me, I like to do the covered foot.
Yeah.
So like that TAA that you're smoking,
Yeah,
Johnny,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that had a covered foot. In the review, it actually said the wrapper was too long for the cigar. I started laughing at that. Like, why can't? Like, I have to promote that. That's just too funny.
You know,
It was
the
made for
thing
a reason.
and I think the thing about it is too, like sometimes people just don't know what they're talking about, you know, and
Agreed.
like when you're sitting there talking about the wrapper is too long. First of all, how long have you been smoking? And I guess a torpedo is not rolled right, correctly?
Well,
Or
I'll be honest, Jack. There are some things that I started doing that had not been done for a long time in the industry.
Yeah.
When I started doing these things 19 years ago now, a lot of people hadn't seen those styles for a long time, so they really weren't looking for it. I think the only thing that people saw a lot of was Grey Cliff. You know Grey Cliff out of the Bahamas?
yeah.
So they were doing a shaggy foot cigar. So they had the broomstick, right? So everybody had seen that because that was like a kind of like a Cuban custom type of thing. But not a lot of people had seen the covered feet, you know, on cigars, unless you were really into like custom rolled cigars from like, you know, private rollers.
Yeah. Johnny?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had something. So
There, I'm
Pete,
dropping my lighter.
so Pete, you know, kind of going into you know, everything that I was kind of basing off in the beginning. You know, I mean, right now, obviously, the Tatuaje is becoming. I know it's never going to become in your eyes the brand because it's always something that you can do. It's always something that you can tweak. It's always something. But I mean, at this point, you're really becoming a staple in the industry where, you know, you were just fighting for a place back, you know, 10, 15 years ago. How's that feel?
Yeah, that's the main goal. I mean, that's the one thing you hope for with a brand. You want it to become a household name. Like, you know, there's brands out there, not just cigar brands, but there's brands out there that become household names that don't sell like tremendous amounts of products.
Yeah.
Just people know them.
Yeah.
And it could be because of marketing or whatever. I think more importantly, it's just nice that people know about the product.
Yeah.
The best part that we have is there's always someone out there that doesn't know about the product, and that gives us an opportunity to gain another follower, I guess. But yeah, it's just nice to have core line regular production products sitting on a shelf, and people going, okay, I need a box of that core line everyday cigar that these guys make. Because the one thing that we try to focus on, we do a lot of limited edition products, but we want to make sure that our regular production everyday cigars are really the focus.
Yeah.
The special shit's the bonus, right?
And absolutely, I mean, just kind of looking at it and all. I think that's where you're going, and I think that's what you have done. You know, I think over the wide variety of time that you have spent, you know, cultivating this brand and, you know, putting your all. Now it's, you know, you got the Cohete coming out, and everybody's like, where's it at? Where's it going? Where I need boxes. I need all. You know, Jason, when we had the T110s came in and swooped in, you know, all the inventory that we had, because nobody had it.
Yeah.
Nobody had it. So they were like, hey man, look. If you're not on that training, you're not experiencing those cigars the way they're meant to, then I mean you'll slowly you know pass up something because you didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
I would say some people are missing out if they're not experiencing things like T110. I truly believe it's a great cigar. I believe these Cohetes are amazing cigars, but you know. You can't expect everybody to pick up your product.
Yeah.
You just want, I guess you just want a fair shot, and that's why it's key to being on a shelf.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because if you only made limited edition product and the only thing you sold was the stuff that went in and out of the humidor in the same day, it's not much of a brand. It's not longevity, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree, man. And I can to jump off of what both of you guys were saying, man. For me particularly, man, down in South Carolina, man, finding Tatuaje cigars is pretty much few far between, especially in the Charleston area. And the cigars that I have tried, man, have been absolutely outstanding. Like I remember like the Miami, I like the Tattoo, and there's only a couple cigar shops where you can find it at. But like this gift here I had today, man, the TAA 2015. I'm enjoying it. The cigar shop I work at, King's Leaf, we're talking about bringing it back on because we used to carry it when I first started smoking, maybe 3-4 years ago, when I was fresh into smoking. So.
No, yeah, but I would say I'd have to give you a list of people in Charleston. We have people down there for sure, but it's a smaller market for us.
It is.
Again, the brand's not everywhere. Do we hope to be a household name? In every major city, like especially like Charleston, would be a great place to have that key account that really takes care of the product. But again, you can't expect everybody to know the product.
And that jumps back to okay, Jack.
And I was gonna say that TAA 15 that you're smoking, man. How many you make? What 3,000 of those or something like that?
Well, we made 3,000 boxes, so
3,000 boxes. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, so there was a total
20 in a box.
It was 60,000 cigars. It was a decent production, but it only went out to 70 plus retailers. So you had to know one of those retailers to be able to find it. And
that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think you can find that particular cigar on the street for sure, but maybe in someone's humidor.
Man, you got it. That's a cigar. Even Jason, I'm gonna look for it while I'm still talking. But I know Jason had, I think I smoked it. Gave me a Tatuaje that was from some time ago, man. The thing, I think it was what was the red and black band? Red and black band.
The Drac. Yeah.
When was the last time that came out?
Well, the full size Drac, the last time it came out was in 2010.
That's what I'm saying.
No, sorry, 2009. But we put it in a sampler with the little monsters and then pudgy monsters, and I've always seen the monster mash.
Yeah, monster mash. I mean, Jesus Christ! When that thing came, I was like, yeah, I think we ordered like 5 or 6 of them. I think even more than that, because you remember at PCA, it was like, shoot. By the time I think the showroom floor opened, and I want to say they were gone. No, I mean by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I had to get Pete to even. Pete was like, "No, make sure Jack gets some," because if that wasn't the case, I was out here struggling.
I remember that because I walked over to Andy. He was my guy in the office. He was sitting at his computer. I said, "Hey, make sure you pull some aside for Jack," because I mean, honestly, it was a big production. But I was surprised to see that it pretty much sold out at the PCA show. So it almost became a PCA exclusive.
Yeah, very. And even the Frankenstein box. That sampler came right after Monster Mash. Frankenstein was another one.
We just like to call him Frank. We don't call him Frankenstein.
You are Frank. The Frank. The Frank, I mean, came out and it was another one that just sweat. So what's the philosophy behind because even those cigars that go into those samplers, you're talking cigars that hasn't been released for 10 years or
multiple
something
years.
Like that.
Yeah. The whole point with the Monster series is really about brand building and helping the brand itself become a bigger scale. I mean, it's really about it's kind of like a hype beast, Yeah. It's about promotion and marketing, but I mean, obviously the blends are solid. But yeah, we try to keep them in small quantities because we want them to stay special.
Yeah.
So it's not, obviously our everyday production, we can make those every day of the week. And honestly, if I wanted to, I could make those monsters every day of the week because we have the tobacco. But I want to keep those special because it's not supposed to be only about the monsters. It's supposed to be about the regular production product.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's. I mean, because when you look at the grand scheme of things, right? You have those little things that it's like going viral, right? You get one video to go viral, and then all of a sudden the whole brand just takes off. I think even for like the Frank, I want to say Ryan from Altadis was like, Jack, how'd you get number one on the search, Google search? I was like, I don't know. I was trying to figure out how the hell they went. I promise you, Pete. I woke up. My phone started going off at like 12 because we aired it at 12, and then all of a sudden, like 2 o'clock, I had like seven orders or something like that of them. And I'm like, hold on, I ain't got that many. How do I got 7 orders? Hey, man. Needless to say, I woke up happy that day.
That's cool. That's cool. No, it's really about promotion of the brand and also promoting the retailers that carry the product because at the end of the day, those products go to brick and mortar stores.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure that everybody gets treated fairly and evenly on those products. We don't oversupply anybody on those things.
Well, let's kind of switch gears, man. Tell us about the Cohete.
Yes.
What was significant about re-releasing it in 2022?
There's no significance to the year, but I mean, honestly, it was just one of those things. I make regular Cohete Habano kind of on and off over the years, here and there. It was made originally for a guy by the name of Mark from Tower Cigars up in Sacramento, California, and we eventually released a small batch of Sumatras at the beginning of last year. And we were trying to figure out ways to continue promoting the regular production products. And even though Cohetes and T110s are limited editions, they really kind of focus on the core of the brand. And again, the wintertime smokes. This is a 4x50 with the Cohete. So it's one of those things that people want to pick up during this time where they don't want to go outside and smoke in the snow.
Yes.
For real.
But there was no significance for the year, though. Although this year, to me, it's my 19th year for the brand. It's a great lead-in for the 20th year coming up next year in 2023. But 2022. Which 222 is my favorite number.
Yeah.
So that's my number. That thing follows me everywhere.
That was that was the purpose of that question. And you was like, yeah, it was no importance.
No. I mean, 222's got an importance to me. The Cohete being released in 222, it didn't have any real significance other than I was trying to create something that was part of our kind of history of the brand and bring it back to life to kind of celebrate leading into our 20th anniversary next year. But here, Jack, I'll tell you what's funny about the number 222. So the K222 on, Friday, it was announced that it got number 13 on Cigar Aficionado.
Yep.
I went to a liquor store near a restaurant we go to all the time, an Italian restaurant we go to, and I was looking for something to bring home, like a bottle of something. And I knew I needed a bottle of tequila, but I wanted to see what they had. And I realized this store had great prices on tequila. So I look over and I see this bottle of Patron that is aged in a sherry cask. I had never seen it before. And I looked down and the batch number started with 222. I was like, okay, this is weird. This is strange. It's starting to follow me. And then there were a couple other things that happened in the same day. that the number 222 popped up in that sequence. And I was like, okay, it's starting early. Because again, this number follows me everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like I pick up my phone and it's 222. Here's one for you. I was texting my buddy Dan Welsh, Surrogates Dan.
Yep.
And my brother Casey. And we were all watching the Bucks Eagles game, right? And
where this going?
Tom Brady got sacked at 2:22.
Get out of here.
I looked at my phone. I picked up my phone to text the guys because Brady just got sacked and it was 2:22.
Well, it'd have been that story would have been a lot better to end with. Yeah, the Eagles won at 2:22. Yeah, but clearly we know that's a dang lie.
Hey, yo, so Pete, man, what's the plans for the foreseeable future, man? We coming up on year 20, man. What's the plans for year 20, man?
I have a few. I mean, we have a lot of things working this year.
Yeah. But
there's a bunch of things that we're kind of saving for 2023. We're not talking about them yet, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a few things that have been aging for now 2 years that I was going to release at the end of this year, or actually the end of 2021. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll just release at the beginning of 2022. And everything's kind of compiling up. Like it just keeps on piling up. And we're like, okay, the delays with all the stuff in the factory, shit's just compounding, right? So we're like, okay, we can't release too many things at the same time.
Yeah.
So this particular cigar was made for my birthday. I think I'm going to now hold it until 2023 because I'm not in a hurry to release it. And I know it will only be better and better when it sits and ages for a few years.
Absolutely.
So by the time it comes out, it'll be 4 years old.
Ooh, that's gonna be some spice behind that too. That's like the
These
Southern
are made
cooking,
in Miami. Well, I'll be honest, Jack. It will have some spice behind it, but it's going to have some big ticket behind it too.
hey, look.
I hate to be that guy, but if I made these originally, but one roller in Miami rolled them, right? So they're really special. So I was going to put them out at a certain price point at the end of 21. And then I said, they can sit in the humidor for a little while longer.
Yeah.
So right now it's more, they'll be up there. That's for sure.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But there's literally 100 boxes of 50 of each.
Yeah.
That's it. So
really?
there's only 5,000 cigars of two sizes.
Man.
So how's the distribution of that gonna work?
Everybody's gonna get like one box of each.
hey, I might as well keep that and go ahead and plan to get that and keep that one. We can't sell that.
But again, it's gonna be a 50 count, so you'll have inventory. But it's all small batch.
Ron said, "Can the public visit your spot in Miami?"
Right now, I wish we could, but right now we're still closed up because of COVID, so we're just not accepting visitors. Then again, all of us got it. Like we all got it over the holidays, man. Like I don't know if you guys did you guys get it during Christmas?
Did.
I landed Christmas morning and I was like, Merry Christmas. I got COVID.
and that's COVID now is I was talking about this not too long ago. COVID is just like the flu now. It's like you don't even know the difference. It's like you get it, and so am I supposed to stay here?
This is exactly, if you look at the timeline of the Spanish flu, it's very similar. Spanish flu, was horrible, right? And eventually it evolved. Within a couple of years, it evolved to something different. I would say that this is just, if everybody could get the version that I got, which was absolutely nothing but a negative, a positive test here and there, I think this will be the end of the word COVID, and it will just now be the everyday cold every year.
So Pete, you don't want to tell the public what really happened? You don't want to tell the public that you really lost your hearing during that time?
Yeah, I didn't lose my sense of taste or smell. I lost my sense of hearing. No, yeah. I'll be honest. My brother lost his taste and smell.
Hey, you know, that happened
It's
to me.
killing him right now too.
It happened to me when I first got COVID. Man, I was smoking a cigar, and I'm like, I know this cigar is not bland. It's no way. I know they added at least salt and pepper to this thing. like theoretics, right? You know,
yeah.
Salt and pepper. All right, cool. And I'm like, I know they at least added salt and pepper to this thing. It's no way this thing is over here just bland like this. So I got tested the next day and had COVID. I was like, well, that explains it. That explains it. But so, you know, kind of going into, I think a lot of, you know, the podcasts that you probably be on is more or less like, you know, what the brand doing, what's this, what's that, you know, what Pete got going on with this. Really, what I want to know is, how was 2021 to you? And what was some key takeaways, you know, not only from a sales standpoint, obviously we're not talking straight numbers, but what was some things that 21 actually showed you that you can do with the brand? You know, that was the question. What did 21 show you that they could do with the brand?
I'll tell you, man, 2021 was an amazing year for us. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. We're very blessed. We had a lot of people behind the product, more than we ever expected. We were very cautious throughout the whole year, even though we had, you know, a lot of fun projects throughout the year. We were very cautious with, you know, the inventory, making sure that it was right and not rushed. So we ended up at the end of the year with 3 months worth of back orders. Actually, we had more than 3 months worth of back orders, but we canceled out up until October. From October through December, those are the only back orders that we left in the system. So for brand awareness, the brand took off. I mean, we've been around for a long time, so people know it, but last year was pretty intense. Not what I expected. We're very thankful for it, but our goal is to sustain that, and not go backwards.
You know, and that's one thing I think a lot of, like, I know what something that Terrence told us last week was, you know, obviously 2021, even 2020 was like, it was like you thought 2020 was a rare year. You was like, okay, that's not normal. I think a lot of people stay home, and then that's 2021 happened. Yeah. And then 2021 happened. It's like, hold on, we just killed 2020, you know. So now we're going into 22. Are you foreseeing it possibly picking up and doing the same thing? Because I know a lot of people just didn't drop that habit.
Well, I think the guys who joined the cigar lifestyle, I don't think they're going anywhere. Or actually, can't say guys. I hate saying I say guys as a general term.
Yeah.
I think people in general picked up the cigars lifestyle because they found that it calmed them down and relaxed them during this stressful time that we're living in, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a way to just release the stress, and we've been very happy to see the growth, but at the same time, we're being cautious not to expect it.
Yeah.
So I believe that the people that are here to stay because they've found the culture. They believe in the culture. They believe in the relationships that they've gained from the culture. Because again, this little rolled up dry piece of leaf, you know, rolled up leaves, brings people together. And it doesn't matter who you are, you know, how much money you make, you know, where you started from. You can have a conversation with a billionaire about this, and it doesn't matter who's got what and who doesn't. That's it.
Jack, it's back to that rule I said on the first show, man. The 40-60, man.
Mm-hmm.
The 40-60, man. Absolutely, man. I live by that.
Got to. And
I think even, you know, celebrities too, Jack, celebrities, you know, like back during the original boom years in the mid-90s, celebrities were smoking cigars and getting on the cover of Cigar Aficionado, and it was like the cool thing to do, right? As soon as there was a bust to the boom back then, all those smokers that weren't true like cigar enthusiasts, cigar culture people, they left to go on to the next fad. And the one thing that the cigar industry doesn't want to be, we don't want to be a fad. We want it to be a culture where people get together and be part of something bigger than just, the fly by night shit.
Right. And I get, the fly by, those people that just come in and come out, and obviously it's experimentation for them. I think that's why it's very important to get them on brands that can allow them to come back. You know what I mean? We're trying to put the top dollar stuff in their hands and different things of that nature, but instead, I mean, just think about it. If somebody has some access of cash of $200, you want them to come back and be able to spend that $200. Especially if they enjoy spending on cigars. If they know that, hey, I'm gonna get 5 cigars, and 9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna be like, man, I could do something else with the $200. and honestly, it's just all about putting the right brand in people's hands, and I think that's kind of where Tatuaje is, because it's not cheap, but it's not overly expensive either. You can put that brand in somebody's hand. It doesn't matter if it's the Connecticut. It doesn't matter if it's the Petit Robusto black label. It doesn't matter if it's the K22. Regardless of what it is that they're looking for, price point and cigar, they're gonna come back and get that cigar.
Well, Jack, we have. There's 2 points to this whole thing. Today in this cigar market, the people that came into the cigar market or the cigar culture now to enjoy and appreciate these are being spoiled because there's so many great products out there. During the original boom in the mid-90s, there were people cheating the system, rolling banana leaves and passing cigars over at $10 that were pieces of shit. Yeah. So when you try to capture an audience with crap, you're going to get a lot of people disappearing because they don't want to sit there and be part of crap, right? We're Tatuaje and the family of brands that lies under Tatuaje, including Surrogates and Atelier. We're very fortunate because a guy can walk into your store and buy 20 of our cigars for $100. He can buy 10 of our cigars for $100. He can buy 5 cigars for $100. And he could buy 2 cigars for $100. It really depends on what, where he is in life. But we have a broad range of product. We always say that we have a seat for every ass and a price point for every wallet.
And you damn sure.
And I believe it. I believe it because we have good product even on the lower end, and we have good product on the higher end. And that's just what we believe in.
And I think you got enough cigars. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I think you have enough cigars to fill up an entire humidor in your portfolio too. I remember seeing that thing, I was like, Jesus Christ! I did not know. I did not know, but to your point,
it's a big portfolio for sure. It's about creation for us. It's about being able to express creativity, and when a thing like the FDA tries to stifle that, you're like, we want to be able to continue creating product because that's what this industry is about. It's like writing a song, right? You want to be able to create a new song. If you're a musician, and I say this all the time, if you're a musician and someone tells you that you can't write a new song, you'd be like, go fuck yourself. Like, seriously? Right. Like, really? Like, you're telling me that I can't be creative?
Right.
It's like telling Jackson Pollock when he was around, hey, man, you can't do another, scribbly painting. He'd go crazy. You can do this many and that's it. I think that's a go fuck yourself moment. Sorry.
Very much. No, you're fine. One thing, kind of hitting on the FDA part. 2021 was a huge win for us. We didn't have any tax increases. A lot of the things that they were trying to pass didn't pass. Our lobbying efforts through PCA, Cigar Rights of America, and all the other, organizations that's out there that assist in that, what is something that you foresee on your end for 2022 that may facilitate a problem? Obviously, it's going to always be a problem.
Well, I mean, we're still battling the FDA thing. I mean, there are little things out there that we still have to stay on top of. I think right now, the one thing that we're trying to get a hold of more than anything is trying to help the state associations with fighting tobacco tax.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty lucky here in Florida that we won't have that problem because we have a great governor. I mean, I hate to say that in public, but we have a great governor.
Absolutely.
And I don't foresee any local or state taxes coming in with in that regards, but we're still continuing to stay on top of the FDA thing and try to get an exemption for premium cigars, hand-rolled premium cigars.
Were you part of that group of the cigar manufacturers that went down to Tallahassee not too long ago?
With DeSantis.
Yeah.
No, I was
with Rob DeSantis.
I was part of it in the sense that I sent a contribution. Both my wife, her company, and my company, we sent contributions to it, but we were in Italy on vacation for my birthday. So I couldn't make it. As much as I regret not being there, because I would love to sit down and shoot the shit over a cigar with a politician and have them understand what we do better. I think that's really what we're missing is that we need to be able to have the sit down sessions where we just sit and over a cigar, we kind of, let them understand what we do. Yeah. And that we're not promoting towards younger generations. We're not trying to bring in high school and teenage kids to do this. We're looking at, adults that can understand choices in life and also choices in life that they want to spend, $5, $10, $15, $20 on a product that they're going to burn up in 2 seconds. It's all about freedom of choice. It's not about promoting towards a younger generation in hopes that they'll come and join our culture. That's not it. The cigar industry is much different than the tobacco industry in general.
Yeah. And I think that's one of those ones. I know. I thought I'd seen you. I know Alan Rubin went down. I know Rocky went down. George. Carlito. I mean, every single person went down there. Part of the manufacturing bubble that went down there and just supported. And I think that's great.
Yeah, it was a core group of mostly CRA members that got involved that were up there for that. And again, they got a chance to sit down with someone over one of these to kind of have a casual conversation of what makes us different.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, from our perspective, the retail side, we're seeing more and more, cigar lounges open. A lot of people are trying to get into this world, obviously for beneficial reasons. There's a lot of money in this world. How's that doing on inventory? And is that part of the driving up of prices and different things of that nature?
No, well, I mean, it depends on the company.
Yeah.
We're not a brand that opens up new accounts all the time. We had to have a price increase this year because we had so many different variables that came into play when it came to doing business, including increases from the factory. But that was only a small portion of it. We have freight costs. UPS raised their rates by a ton of money. Like the credit card companies started bumping up things, so there was a lot of cost of doing business that just increased in general.
Yeah.
And we rarely in 19 years have raised our prices. There's some cigars that actually there's product on our price list. We didn't even raise the prices because we thought we wanted to keep them in a comfortable level. And I mean, we went back and forth a long time over that big price list that we have.
Yeah.
And there were certain things I was like, let's keep it at this level because, you know, the margin is there for the company. The company will do okay if we eat a little bit. But at the same time, our goal is to make sure that people can enjoy this at a comfortable level.
Yeah.
So what do you foresee do you foresee any like negative backlash that could come from the ongoing retail market of cigars? I mean, I'm just, this is more of a question. I just kind of curious
negative
from your side.
negative backlash. You talking about multiple stores opening up?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the overpopulation of like Atlanta. Atlanta is one city that, I mean, you could throw a rock and hit a cigar lounge any direction you want to go. I don't care if you go north, south, east, west. You throw the rock, you're probably gonna hit one that's in a 5-mile radius. I know like some companies don't really allow those allow people to keep getting accounts when you have that many people that close. So that's what I'm saying. Do you foresee
the saturation point? Yeah, the saturation point.
Like an oversaturation of it.
Yeah,
you got to worry about it. Again, that's why that's something that the company, as an individual company, has to pay attention to. But there is a saturation point, and there are people getting into the business for maybe the wrong reasons.
absolutely.
So, I mean, there's always a new brand coming up, and there's always a handful of new brands that are coming in that are in it for completely the wrong reason.
Absolutely.
And the same thing goes with the stores. Stores will figure out a way to, new stores might figure out a way to take advantage of the clientele that they're working with, and the fate lies in their own hands, though.
Yeah.
If they want to be an idiot, then they'll ruin their own brand, and that's not just cigar brands. I'm talking about retail brands also.
Yeah, retail, yeah, exactly. And
a lot of the best word of advice is to just don't be dumb, and don't be greedy. Don't be dumb and don't be greedy.
Yeah.
The real purpose of the oversaturation question was, do you think local and federal and state governments to start looking at that on, oh man, there's so many opening, maybe we can increase the taxes and get this to improve this and that.
Yeah.
Do you foresee the oversaturation eventually becoming a problem to the overall industry and the version of taxes and different things of that nature?
Maybe, but the reality is that politicians, they don't pay attention to shit. And if they realize simple economics tell you, continue doing things at a normal rate and people will actually take care of their business correctly. But as soon as you start raising taxes, more and more people try to figure out a way to cheat those taxes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when the governments get greedy to try to increase things, they don't realize how bad they're doing for their own good, because if they just said, hey, think about states that have a flat tax, like a 50-cent cap on product, right? You know how well those states are doing with tobacco tax and the return of tobacco tax and people paying their tobacco taxes? As soon as you start getting this game where politicians go, oh, we're going to raise your taxes up because more and more cigar stores are opening, that's more and more cigar stores that are going to try to figure out a way to cheat the system.
Yeah.
That's just simple. That's just simple knowledge, dude. Like, that's common sense right there.
Common sense is not so common in the political world. Not so common. Everything is about theoretics, and if we do this, then this will have a positive increase, but we don't ever talking about the negative. Like I know one of the biggest arguments is how many jobs that the cigar industry establishes, just by being open and, having brick and mortars open and different things of that nature. But at the moment you start increasing taxes, eventually it's going to get to the point where ownerships and shit, even manufacturers is going to get to the point where it's like, hold on, I can cut costs on this, do this, do that. And then eventually it's like, Now all the other taxes that you would have been getting, either a federal income tax or a state income tax if your state has it, now you're losing that because now you have a job problem. Then you're going into a what we call a recession.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest fear for everybody. I mean, we're in a weird recession right now, but I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one really, because that's a tough subject all around.
We have to do a pause in the broadcast.
Down goes the Cowboys.
We have to do a pause in the broadcast to say, how about them Cowboys, baby? How about them Cowboys? Oh, where's all those Cowboys talkers at now? Talking about some, man, we're gonna make it to the NFL, we're gonna make it to the Super Bowl, all that. Down goes the Cowboys. Sit y'all ass on the couch. Sit on the couch.
Well, Hero, you know what I'm actually excited to watch, though? And I don't think the Steelers really have a chance, but I would like to see Big Ben beat Mahomes tonight. It's kind of tough because, you know,
that's
Mahomes
a hard one, beat.
It's a hard one, but man, wouldn't that be a Cinderella story?
You know the tenacity that Patrick Mahomes has created this year, man. You know, you don't see slingshot Mahomes throwing bombs down the field no more. It's a lot more strategic plays that are being adapted and made, and I think that was like the best thing for him, because now you really don't know what Mahomes is going to do. He can run the ball, he can sling it, he can do a couple of dump passes and still get 15, 20 yards every go. Yeah.
No, man. Yeah. He's a baller, dude. The kid's good, dude, like super good. But I don't know, the swan song of Ben Roethlisberger, it'd be kind of cool to see him keep on pushing forward.
Hey, that man is in his last leg, and he really got lucky getting into the playoffs. He did into the playoffs because he wasn't supposed to be there.
Dude, when we saw them win, then we had to rely on the no tie between the Chargers and the Raiders. And
Which could have easily tied. It could have easily tied. I was like, whoa, what is going on? Because it was like, if I was a coach,
gonna let this go to a tie.
I'd have been like, let's just tie to piss everybody.
No,
listen,
right?
Jack.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm saying I'm a snitch on myself. Y'all talking foreign language to me.
Oh my God.
I'm not American. I know.
Oh my God.
But here's my defense. I don't watch TV at all.
Wait, Johnny, we're talking about football. I don't know shit about football.
You don't watch football.
I don't watch football. I don't watch football either.
We gotta remove Johnny. We gotta take him off.
Bring him back in.
Oh man,
Johnny, I don't watch football either. I only watch playoff football, so I have no idea what these guys did all year. I have no idea what these guys did all year, but the fact that, like, I think the funniest thing I saw was actually, you know, Dan Surrogates Dan that works with us.
Yeah,
he's a huge Steelers fan. You know, he grew up in that neighborhood. He's a big Steelers fan. And when he talks about the team, he talks about we played last weekend. Like I'm like, wait, what number you wear? I don't know. Like, he showed me a meme of someone said, hey, visit Kansas City to see for Ben's retirement party.
Oh wow.
Because technically tonight could be the last game he plays.
The last one.
I think there's a story somewhere. I think if they can figure out some way to beat the Chiefs, everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell just happened?"
I don't know, because even if they beat the Chiefs, they got to go against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is playing.
Cincinnati's good right now, man.
Hey, I said, Jesus Christ, that Chase Young, not Chase Young, Chase Young. And then you still got Joe Burrow that's just balling right now, man. Just balling.
But you never know, man. You never know. These players wake up and they never know how good they're going to play.
And I think that's a lot. I think that's metaphoric to the cigar industry. But these these blenders wake up one day and you never know how good they're gonna roll. They get something that just throw your head back, but like, oh my God. Let me go.
No, I mean, dude, sometimes, we joke about that because what we put together for a final blend before it goes into production is one thing. But when the rollers get it, we have to rely on a lot of people to put that product together. Yeah. Any of those guys could have a bad day.
Yes.
Or girls, because we have girl rollers too.
Yeah.
Any of those people could have a bad day. They could wake up after a long weekend, they partied all weekend, and Monday morning they go in and start rolling cigars, and there's 500 cigars just sitting there going, what the fuck happened with these things? Because the roller just was pissed drunk still when he came into work, shit like that. You never know.
I got a question for you. What is the funniest thing you have seen at the factory that's like, when I tell this story, it still ceases to amaze me?
No, dude, I don't have one.
What?
Yeah. I mean, funniest thing or craziest thing?
Craziest is fine.
No, I mean, I don't really have one. Like, I never seen anybody in the factory. I will tell you, I've been to a lot of factories in my lifetime, because I've been doing this now for 29 years.
Yeah.
The brand only for 19. So I've been in a lot of factories over the years. And I walked into one factory and someone pointed over to a roller. It wasn't our factory. Someone pointed over to a roller in this other factory and said, that person rolls 700 cigars a day. I go, and they're all shit. There's no way. There's no way that anybody can roll 700 cigars a day without being in ship. Here's the next one. Again, I've never seen this in our factories because I've been very fortunate to work with a very traditional family that takes care of traditions, and they follow the path of traditions, right? I walked into a factory that it's a fairly well-known factory for making bundles in Nicaragua, like bundled cigars in Nicaragua. And the girls would get trays, like long trays of cigars with no bands on them. And then I watched this girl take a ruler across the cigars, and then take a piece of chalk and shoot. And I just sat there going, what the fuck is she doing? What? And I realized she was making a chalk line across the tops of the cigars so she knew where to put the band. So she would band them all up like super fast, like boom, 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 boom. And then she would go across with a sponge and wipe off the chalk. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, seriously. That's like the worst thing. That's one of the worst things I've seen in a factory.
The worst. I mean, because normally they got like a little piece of paper that's measured out and you put it right there and then you band it, right?
There's like a little form mold, right? That you put one cigar in, and it has a line, and you know exactly based on the size where the band's supposed to go, right? Mm-hmm. So you know that the band is always supposed to be, here. Mm-hmm. They put it in this little form mold, and they put the band at the line. Mm-hmm. But when I saw that, it was just like, it looked like a machine working, because she was so fast that there was like no care for me, and like there was no care in the world when I looked at it. I was like, obviously they don't give a shit about any of these cigars, because it was just like it was like automated.
And so kind of going into going down that rabbit hole. What are some things that you have seen outside of the chalk that was like, man, that shouldn't be happening? It doesn't matter where you've seen it at, and obviously we know it's not happening.
Well, I mean, everybody has their own process, right? Everybody has their own formula how cigars are put together, and obviously, I rely and believe in the formula that the Garcias have when it comes to making cigars. But there are bunching techniques that we question sometimes, like, people like take the tips and they turn them upside down, and It's just the way it's hard to explain, because when you bunch cigars the way the Garcias and their workers bunch cigars, it's very methodical, and they know exactly when they break the bunch, and those pieces that they put back in to fill the voids always stay in the same direction.
Yeah.
Because you want the burning to go always in the same direction. I've actually watched people like just break the bunch and then fold it over in the reverse direction. I'm like, you got tobacco going in two different directions completely, and it's just weird for me.
So
based on what we do, it's weird for me. I've watched also people use mallets. This is in a weird factory. This is actually in a factory in China. I didn't see it in person. I saw it on video, where they took a mallet and they were kind of hammering down the veins in the wrapper leaf to make them flat.
What?
Yeah, and I've also seen rolling pins, like a rolling pin where they're kind of ironing out those hard veins to make them thinner so they look prettier.
Don't envy that cigar. I don't know.
But I mean, that's just it. Everybody's got their own version of doing things, and obviously, some people are doing it to be more quick about what they're doing. So they're looking at the number, going, okay, we need to hit this number today, so we need to have certain processes in our lineup to speed up our system. And that's how they're speeding up their system. I don't agree with it, but it's not my place to agree or disagree, because it's not the place I work at. So
I got a question. When a roller is rolling, right? They have this black stuff on their hand. Is that just the natural dirts, or
that's just the natural oils. It's just the natural oils from the wrappers and the tobaccos. That's going to happen if you pick up tobacco, over and over and over again. You're eventually going to get stuff on your hands, because the moisture level in tobacco when you're working with it is higher than normal. And then, of course, the wrapper is on a super high level of moisture, because you need to have it pliable. So all those natural oils are just going to come off. That said, that's in a traditional factory. You're always going to get color on your hand. But there are a lot of factories that actually dye their tobacco. So they're going to get that dye off on their hands. But that's a whole nother it's not my place to speak. That's why I'll never name a factory.
So why would they have to dye their tobacco?
They're looking for uniform colors. Instead of letting tobacco be itself and relying on just the natural shade characteristics and just sorting from there. That's why if you look at every box we do, inside the box they're all uniform, because they grade them to be uniform inside the box. But if we made 10,000 of them, we're going to have 10 or 12 shades of brown in there to mix, to find multiples. If I took cigars from the same roller, let's say a roller rolls 150 cigars in a day. In those 150 cigars, I could probably look at 10 shades, and they're slight. They're slight. You just don't want them in the same box with each other.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting. Just kind of learning that part, because I don't know everything when it comes to the hand rolling process. Being hands on with that stuff. When you see that stuff day in and day out, that's why I love to ask you guys those questions, because you'll never know. So is the dye when they dye it, is it just like how do you dye a Habano?
Well, I mean, a lot of people dunk the tobacco in vats. Again, this is not something that we do, but I know the stories. They dunk the tobacco in vats to kind of spread the color out. They also have, when they're sorting the leaf for a wrapper leaf, obviously this is where the colors come into play most often. Obviously, they kind of wipe it onto the leaf to kind of spread it out completely. But you're going to get that's the problem. When you start adding shit to tobacco,
Start getting weird flavors.
you're going to get muddling, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in any process of tobacco in general, like natural process of tobacco, you're going to get those muddling characters in the leaf. You're going to see changes in the leaf as it turns on the cigar, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the romance of a good premium cigar is that it has those natural characteristics. I don't want to see splotches.
Yeah.
As soon as I see splotches, I kind of know that there's someone probably added something to it that didn't spread evenly.
Right. So it's kind of speaking of high humidity. Obviously, you said rollers deal with a lot of cigars that is in high humidity. How eventually do you get those humidities down? Because I'm just thinking from a
That's all aging.
standpoint.
Aging. Because when they're finished rolling, they have to roll them at a higher humidity to make sure that the tobacco's pliable and it won't break apart when they're working it, right? Because when you start bunching tobacco, even on fillers and binders, when you start bunching them, if it's too low humidity, the leaves are going to start breaking apart because, again, it's dried up leaf.
Yeah.
When you start rolling a wrapper on it, it's working at a higher humidity because you need it stretchable and pliable so you can actually get that stretch to where when you stretch a wrapper out perfectly, it helps even out the color, first of all, but it also gives it that silky character to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you have to do from there, you have to just let them sit in the cold room and let them dry out. We call it wicking, like you're wicking off the moisture. Yeah. It's kind of like it's kind of like in Jerry Maguire. Like, I don't use a towel. I air dry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. You just have to take time to let it wick off naturally.
Yeah. So aging rooms are normally at what kind of humidity is aging rooms typically?
No, usually, I mean, they're in the mid to high 60s.
Oh, okay. So it's
I mean, it depends on the aging room, obviously, but when you walk into these big aging rooms, they're gonna continue to pump up a higher humidity, closer to that 70%, obviously, so it actually wicks off slowly. Because you don't want it. You don't want it to shock. You don't want to shock a cigar. You don't want it to be super wet and all of a sudden you're going to put it out in an oven. You want it to kind of slow down naturally and slowly. And that's where you get that nice even color. What's that?
I was going to say, how often are you rotating these cigars while they're aging? Or if you
when they're aging, they're in the humidor after they're rolled. We don't really rotate them. Okay. They sit in their own little environment, and then from there they get graded.
Gotcha.
By color. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's all color grading after that, and you'll find mistakes within those wheels of 50, because you're never going to get the same color in one wheel of 50. You're going to have multiple shades in there. So it's really about grading them in under very intense light to make sure you capture, colors within the box. Because what happens is they go into the aging room kind of all mixed up. They come out and they sit at a grading table, and there's a few people sitting there sorting by color, so that 20 cigars that they pull aside and they wrap in a bundle, those 20 cigars are supposed to travel from there all the way to the humidor at the stores. And what happens is, over time, when they're going through that process, if they find a cigar that's broken or something like that, they go back to the grading table and they try to find a cigar that fits within that same color grade.
Makes sense.
So it's a lot of work because there's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, it's a lot of perfection work. You're trying to make sure that you're putting the best product in those boxes that's going to eventually hit the retailers.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what hits the retail store and the shelf is what has our name on it. And if something bad got in the mix, then the messed up part about cigars is when you roll, let's say 50,000 cigars or something, you're never gonna be able to test all 50,000. You're not gonna be able to see what's inside the cigar. like I'll be honest. There's been times in the past where there's like these little tiny, there's like these little strings that we use to hold hands of tobacco together, right?
Yeah.
The problem is sometimes those little pieces of like, it's kind of like a plastic thread. It will stick to the leaf, and on odd occasions, that little piece of plastic, tie will stick to a leaf and end up in a cigar. But you have no clue that it's in there because it's completely buried inside the cigar.
Right.
That's the worst case scenario, and it happens, unfortunately. But it's I usually tell people to just pull it out because it has nothing to do with the cigar, and it just accidentally found its way in there. But the rollers are pretty careful to try to make sure that those things aren't there. But on some weird occasion, they show up.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it's a very rare, weird occasion. I know Jason had one with a string coming out of it one time. He texted me a picture. He'll probably jump on and tell you all about it.
There you go.
He even says, and for some reason I end up with all. It's true.
Hey, well, Pete, as always, man, as we come down to the closing, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure just to kind of be in your presence and just kind of learn some bits and pieces throughout the process, but ultimately just enjoy the conversation, man. That's what the virtual smoke deck is. It's not we don't come here to be philosophical and drop and just make this a college class or something like that. We're here to just have good time, have good conversation. I think ultimately that's when I enjoy it the most. It's just conversation.
Well, I'll tell you, man, if I always say this, if someone, I mean, nowadays it's tough because of the pandemic shit. But if someone ever has the chance to go into a big factory and see how much work that goes into making a cigar, a premium cigar, it gives you more appreciation of why cigars are what they are and how much they cost. And you'll learn a ton. I think, truth in marketing is the best thing about cigars for me, is that I believe in telling people as much as possible about what goes into a cigar. Mm-hmm. Because, if there's not that knowledge is power. If you guys don't have that knowledge about what you're enjoying, you don't appreciate it as much. Yeah. And I think if you're a true cigar enthusiast, it's good to experience that knowledge.
Absolutely. Well, Pete, one thing we do on the virtual smoke deck, man, you got to go ahead and drop a gem for us. Any gem, it don't really matter. You know it. You should have been thinking of this for a while.
No, dude. What do you mean? Like just a life lesson?
Yeah, sure. A life lesson from Pete that we can brand and put on everything.
How can Pete give a life lesson, and then when I give a life lesson, it was like unexpected?
Well, okay, so Jack and Johnny, I say this a lot. If you're a smoker and you're part of our culture already, don't laugh at the guy that walks in the humidor and asks stupid questions.
Absolutely.
Guide him, and help him through that process, because we're trying to create a culture of people who enjoy what we do. And when you kind of make fun of that new guy, he's probably going to turn away and go look for something else.
Absolutely.
We're all in the business to cultivate people that enjoy the culture, right?
Yeah.
And never try to turn away someone because they asked a dumb question. Because to me, there are no dumb questions. Ask every question you want, because the guy behind the counter is probably going to know more than you. So as a new guy walking in, don't be embarrassed to ask those questions.
Well, Pete, we definitely appreciate that. Your stalker is just he's going, man. Your stalker is going. Hey, Jason, man. whenever you want to come for a lesson, man, I could definitely be your professor and teaching you whatever it is that you want to know. Whatever it is that you want to know. Well, Pete, it was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for coming onto the show. Johnny, you got anything? You got anything for Pete?
Hey man, listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. This was a very informative virtual smoke deck, man. I mean, this was awesome, man. And it was nice meeting you, Pete.
Nice to meet you too, Johnny.
Hey, well, as always, Pete, man, hang out for. I got a quick conversation with you. Outside of that, man, you have a great day, my brother.
Thanks, Bram.
Sorry, go ahead, Pete. I clicked you off too soon.
No, I said take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem, brother. Hey, man, one thing I love about it, Johnny boy, we always tend to have a good time, right?
Yo, I think I was in school, church.
Boy,
I mean, it was everything, man. I was sitting here taking notes and all, man.
hey, I'm like, man, Johnny over here tutoring or something. Boy,
days, man.
Hey, I told y'all Johnny Mike wouldn't work for a reason. Johnny froze up. See Pete face in the background. Was like, oh, hold on. Man, hey, Jack, my mic ain't working. I don't know what's going on. Man, as always, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in for another amazing show, man. We do this for you guys, and just kind of the overwhelming support that we get from you guys. You guys are simply freaking amazing, man. Continue to hit that follow button. And share as much of our content as you can, so we can get more cigar enthusiasts out there. Just get involved and have these real conversations, man. We're not gonna sit up here and try to just be typical, man. We're gonna try to have fun and do the things that we normally do, man. We're two outgoing personalities, and Pete is just another guy that just simply amazing, has amazing aura on him. But you're gonna get some where, hey, man, this is going to turn into a full-blown non-cigar conversation really quick. Really quick, man. Be talking about strip clubs on here and be like, hold on, what are we talking about, man? You over here throwing cigars at people, man. Hey, no, but it's always a good show, man, and we always appreciate you guys so much. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that follow button. Turn that notification bell. Give us a huge thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and like us at the Virtual Smoke Deck Live. Go ahead and follow us for all the updated shows that we have going on. I don't know who's on the calendar for this week. Do you know?
I don't know, man.
Let me see real quick. I think this week. I think it's actually us.
Oh, man.
No, we got Ryan from RTB Cigars, man. We got Ryan coming on the show, man. So that should be a good show, man. I can't wait for our shows where it's just us, man. I'm telling you, we're retarded. I'm trying to stop saying that word. My wife be getting on me about that. Stop saying that. Oh my God.
I try not to say myself.
Hey, that gets kind of hard, don't it? Well, it's a pleasure, everybody. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We are the Virtual Smoke Deck. I'm Jack, the cigar enthusiast,
and I'm Johnny, the cigar maker.
Man, y'all boys have a good night, and girls have a good night. We are go.